Hello, good morning. Everybody here? Or not everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me? All is well, technically speaking? Hello, Jackie, Granda, George, Wayne. Excellent. Glad to hear all is good. It is a beautiful Saturday morning here in Morioka, Iwate, and I almost dished out this whole thing to go climb Mount Iwate again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was really looking forward to this. I wouldn't dream of doing something like that. But I do have a going sort of running competition with a friend of mine on who can get the most summits of Mount Iwate. And as of today, they're probably going to be tying with me. And so I'll have to catch up. But yeah, all is good. It's really spring. I went foraging 2 days ago, and I'm going foraging again tomorrow. So I'm yeah, just loving the spring, even if I miss the glory of the winter. Where is everybody at this morning or this evening? I assume some of you are in North America where it's nighttime. If anyone's in Europe, thank you so much for staying up into the wee hours of the night. So today, I had that poll, right? And so as promised, I instead of just, well, what I'm going to do is share what I consider some of the most surprising, and then also as well a few of the underwhelming places, as that's what won the vote. And when I say surprising, I guess it is surprising, but I basically mean fantastic, wonderful places, not as in literally they're going to shock you for some reason. Because yeah, I think that's understood. That's what I meant. 4 a.m. Wow, Hussein, thank you. Germany, Indiana, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm going to start that sort of ranking of what I consider some of these fantastic places in Japan in a couple of minutes. I just want to give a few more people time to filter in case anybody is late. And today, my good friend Kurt is here as a moderator. I believe he is KE in the chat, and he will be posting links and stuff if you're curious to get any follow-up information on anything I say. And so if there's a guy you see on the chat saying KE posting links, he's my moderator. He's helping out. He's a good old friend. Hello to Belgium. Yes, there, Kurt has said hello. All right, so let's see. I'll give it another, say, minute and a half or 2 minutes before I jump into the ranking. Yeah, just for a second then. Yeah, I'll talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going with Haruo-san. I don't know if any of you saw my videos from last year foraging, but there's a 65-year-old man who's a good friend named Haruo-san who I go foraging with every year. When I went a few days ago, that was just solo because he texted me and told me it's time. And so I had to check out what was available. But I'm taking a German friend of mine, a friend from New Zealand, or NZ, as he calls it, and another American friend with me, in addition to a few Japanese people. So it's yeah, it's a group of maybe more people than should be together, but we'll be outside. It'll be safe. Yes, Mongoose, all hail the mighty mod. Hail Kurt. Portland, Oregon. Wonderful. I love Portland. Great place. Yeah, my parents went to school in Portland way back when to read or something. Some funny things. Thank you, Kurt, for putting the foraging playlist up. I'm going to hopefully be making a whole bunch more of those foraging videos this year. I'm going to try hard to do some cooking ones. Okay, well, it looks like we are, yeah, we're about 4 minutes in. So I'm going to jump into that list then, if everybody's ready. Oh, okay, one question first. While you go hiking in Japan, do you get an insurance? And if so, what kind do you get? Okay. Yes, you can get insurance, and you can get that at local places, like hiking shops and things. Personally, I haven't gotten insurance yet, and I should. One of my good friends, Alice, who has been in a couple of my videos, who I go hiking with regularly, she has like full coverage. She paid like $500 for like everything insurance for a year, and so she can get like helicopter rescued and not be charged a cent. And so when I go hiking with her, I think I'm kind of covered because they wouldn't just rescue her and leave me behind, would they? So at any rate, yeah, there is insurance. I just don't have. Okay. We'll do questions after the chat, because I assume this, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm going to go through the list, and then there'll still be time after I finish explaining all my favorite spots in these great good and bad places in Japan, and then we can, I can do more questions if you like after that. Okay, so I'm going to start with outdoor places just because that's what my channel is all about, and that's what I'm most enthusiastic about. And the first one I have done a number of videos about, and it's so unknown that even Japanese people who have lived their entire lives in Iwate Prefecture here, most of them have never even heard of it or know the name a little bit but don't even know. And that is, of course, Unose Dangai, or the Unose Cliffs. This is a place in the municipality called Tanohata in the Sanriku coast of Iwate. I've done 2 videos there already, and I love it so much, I'll probably do more videos of it later. Why is it great? Okay, well, there's 2 main areas there. You can get there by bus, I think, but it's better if you rent a car or get a ride with someone. And you go up to this viewing platform on the top. You walk just a short, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then there's these 200-meter sheer cliffs. It's just amazing. And they just go, and it's like the Rias Coast, and so they just go for several kilometers. So there's amazing views from the top. Though on the darker side, a lot of people have committed suicide there because it is so easy. I mean, there's a little fence, but it's like straight down. And if you want to commit, well, if someone was dead set on ending their life, there's no halfway there. You're not going to, oops, I didn't die, I just got hurt. You're definitely going to die if you go off these cliffs. And so I hate to mention a dark aspect. And I don't like to publicize that, so I don't think I mention that in my videos because I don't want to make it one of these, go there because it's a ghost spot, because I don't think of it like that. It's stunning natural beauty. But a few Japanese people who know of the suicide thing maybe have a weird image of it. But you can also, from the parking lot, after you go look at the view from the top of the cliffs, go down this trail. It's just about 1 kilometer, so it's jackknifing back and forth. It's fairly steep. And then you get to these secluded rock and gravel beaches at the base of these 200-meter vertical cliffs. And from there, there's these hand-carved tunnels. Yes, hand-carved tunnels that are dark. They're got little like waters dripping. There's boulders and stuff washed up in them. And depending on the tide and the time of day, you sometimes have to like wait because a wave will come crashing and then recede, and you've got to run across it. And so this place, in fact, I told the famous crew about it. I told my friend Chris and Charla about it, who I know a lot of you watch their channels as well, of course. And they did a video where they went up there with Norm of Tokyo Lens as well. And the 3 or 4 of them took a road trip there. And I believe when they were trying to get in these caves, they didn't go very far. I think they just went in the first one. But I believe Chris Broad actually, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but he got wet because he like didn't time it right and got a wave splashed on him. But okay, I see a question. The cliffs have fences. At the top, they have fences over part of it, but it's like a little wood fence you can just hop over. But the thing, there is some bus public transportation, but it's not great. The thing about the caves is these tunnels, these hand-carved tunnels, is there's like 5 of them, and they just keep going. So you go through one, there'll be a hole in the center where you can look out onto the Pacific Ocean. There's waves gushing in. Then you get to a secluded beach that is completely inaccessible. I've never seen anyone else here except for like a fisherman once. So it's empty all to yourself, and then there's another cave, and another cave, and another cave. I was curious how these caves came to be, and I called City Hall. No one knew. I finally found someone who knew after like a couple of months of asking around, and found out that like 60 years ago, they wanted to promote tourism in the area. And to promote tourism and get more visitors, they just, carved the tunnels. And I just realized I'm talking really quickly, and I'm going to try and slow myself down. I've had a lot of coffee this morning, and I know maybe not everyone watching is a native speaker, and I talk too quickly. So I'm going to try and slow my roll here a little bit. You can go boating there. I haven't gone boating much. Sean Lipinski, I hope that's how you pronounce it, or Xian. Sorry if I'm not doing your name right. But the caves, as I said, were made for tourism, but they kind of didn't work because not many tourists are going there. So I do recommend it. I'll make more videos there. It's just shockingly good. Depending on the time of the year, there's like waterfalls there's waterfalls from snow melts that comes down parts of the cliffs. It's just, shockingly stunning. So that's Unose Cliffs. And just if you're curious about the name, U is a type of bird. and S means nest. So unosu is like that kind of bird. I think it's cormorant. Can't remember birds' names in English. So it's the lots of that bird's nest. That's why they're called the cormorant nest cliffs. Unosu dangai, dangai meaning cliff. Um, and I'm not Canadian. I'm from Wisconsin, though. Does that make me an honorary Canadian? I'm almost Canadian. No, I'm kidding. I'm from the northern Midwest of the United States. It's close to Canada. Okay, location number 2. Another place that I did, Cormorant, thank you. Another place that I did a video of that I went there for the first time just last year, and I was genuinely shocked with how gorgeous it was Akita Yakeyama. I won't linger on it too much because I just realized if I talk for 5 minutes, it's about everything. I'll never get through my list. But why is Akita Yakeyama so good? It's because the landscape, first of all, when you get up there, is volcanic. And so you've got like a bubbling sulfur pool that's like boiling. You've got just gorgeous crags and sulfur river that you walk along and sort of cross at a number of points. And there is a wild hot springs. When I was there, I didn't want to get all undressed and do it, but this year I will do it. It's part of the river. It's just where they have the rocks and there's like a shovel and you can just dig it out a little bit and then sit in a wild hot springs along a river. It's pretty strong sulfur. So for me, strong sulfur gets my skin after a while. So after I get home, I'm going to take a shower in normal water to wash it off because I get sort of irritated skin from too much sulfur after a while. But that place, it's empty, very berry though. So watch out for that and gorgeous. The only thing about Akita Yakeyama is that the summit itself is really boring and there's not that much of a view. So it's perfect example if it's about the journey, not the destination, because the summit area is kind of blah, but the hike itself is amazing. So yeah, I'll make another video about that. Next on the list, I've got, the northern tip of Hokkaido, which is called the Shimokita Hanto, or the Shimokita Peninsula. It's like the hook. When you look at Japan, it's got like this hook, right? And that hook right there is got all sorts of great stuff. I've only been there once, but I will go again this year. The highlights of that place for me are a place on this part of the hook, which are called the Hotoke Gaura. Hotoke means Buddha. And it's like giant rock formations that looked like Buddhist statues to people back in the day. And they're just really stunning. And I do not have a video of that, but I will make one this year. That is the thing. I do think Chris did go to Hotoke Gaura. I'm pretty sure he said he did go to Shimokita Hanto. I don't think I've seen his video there, but he has been there. There's also monkeys up there. So there are no monkeys in Iwate Prefecture. I don't know why. We have no monkeys here. But you can go to Miyagi and there's monkeys. You can go to Aomori. And on this tip, they call them the northernmost monkeys. And so you can just see wild monkeys there, which is kind of neat. And they also have one of the three one of the three sacred Buddhist mountains, that being Osorezan, which has these blind fortune teller women that will communicate with the spirits of the dead. They're called Itako. And it costs like, I think, 5,000 yen, like $50 for a half hour. But I didn't do it. But if you're into that sort of thing, it'd probably be pretty cool. Is this a list of specific places in the top? Okay, this is, it's not right now the only topic. I'm sort of going from outdoor and then I'm going to go to more like urban city cultural places after that. So it's just, places that I think are great. Next is one that I went recently for work, and that's Mount Kinka, or Kinkasan in Japanese. And Kinkasan is an island. It sounds like a mountain. Well, it is an island. It's an island that is a small mountain. And you get there from Miyagi Prefecture, kind of near Sendai. Near Sendai, there's a city, Ishinomaki. And from Ishinomaki, you can get a ferry that goes to Mount Kinka. And there are wild deer there. So I know a lot of people like Nara. They like seeing the deer in Nara, right? So you can basically feed, and I think some of them you can even almost pet. They're not quite as tame as the Nara deer, but they're really docile, and you can just go up and feed them at this shrine. And there's also a huge herd. What do you call a group of monkeys? There's a big group of monkeys that live there, and they are completely wild. But when I went there last fall, there are dozens of them right around me. And so I walked up this trail, a really short trail, to this small mountain. You get up to the top in like 45 minutes probably. Slower if you go leisurely. You could probably jog up faster. But there were dozens of monkeys all around me on the trail. They're not thugs. Like when I was in Nepal, in Swayambunat in Nepal. It's called the Monkey Temple, and there they'll come up to you and they'll like snatch like water bottles out of your backpack if you have it on the side pocket. Those guys are thugs. But these ones aren't going to harass you, but they're just everywhere when you're going up the trail. And that was really cool for me. In Japan, I haven't been to a lot of places where there's monkeys all around you in a wild atmosphere like a mountain. And so I thought that was really cool, Mount Kinka. And then if you are into Shinto blessings and things, I know a lot of people in Japan are into these power spots and the places that they believe are imbued with things to help you in various ways. Mount Kinka has a shrine that gives you money and riches. And so there's this, like even the spring water that people will wash their credit cards. They believe anything you touch with it gets you rich. And so the people I went with, the Japanese people, they took their wallets and they were getting them wet with this special money power water and were washing their credit cards and things too. It was interesting to see. I actually did it too, just because why not? And I haven't gotten rich yet, but yeah, who knows? Maybe it's like a delayed effect. I just did that last fall. Maybe it's a year delayed effect and I'll be rich next year. Yeah, Emily Warren. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to diss the monkeys in Swinebunat. I just meant they were really aggressive. And yeah, I had like a fruity, like a mango drink in Nepal, one of the brands like fruity. And I had it in my hand and a monkey just came up to me. And I was so stunned that a monkey was coming up to there, just sort of stood there stunned. And he snatched it right out of my hand and walked off just like nothing. And after that, I jokingly called them thugs. Okay, so I want to briefly mention Hachimantai here in Iwate. Now, Hachimantai has this huge natural area that is part of the Towada Hachimantai National Park. It spans Iwate, Akita, and Aomori, those three prefectures in the top part of Honshu. And it is just one of my favorite places. It's got a diverse landscape. There's a highland plateau. There's wild hot springs. There's volcanic activity where you can see like these mud-shaped volcanoes. There's Mount Iwate, which is part of it. That whole area is just so gorgeous. And for the snow monsters that I love showing off in the wintertime, that is the largest area of snow monsters in all of Japan. And it is also one of the least accessible because there's no ropeway getting to that area. You've got to just put on snowshoes or backcountry skis with skins and go up for a couple hours to get there. But it's oh so worth it. And yeah, thank you, Kurt, for putting up the Hachimantai playlist. That is fantastic. So, okay, just to recap, for anyone who's just gotten here recently, I am basically just going through some of my favorite spots in Japan, as that's what won the poll in the YouTube community section. And Kurt, K.E., who you see in the chat, is helping me today as a moderator and by posting links to my videos or just general information where he can. Thank you, everybody, again, for coming. Troy, thank you. Okay, I'm not going to get distracted and sidetracked by looking at comments. We can talk after I finish the list. Another area that maybe isn't surprising because it's famous for being amazing, but really is the Nyuto Onsen area. Now, so in Akita, sort of northeast of the Lake Towada, and Lake Towada is cool too. That's the deepest lake in all of Japan. It's a caldera lake formed from a volcanic eruption, and it is 421 meters deep, so deep that it never freezes in the winter. And northeast of that is the Nyuto Onsen area. And Nyuto means nipple, actually. So it's the nipple onsen. And I think the name is for two reasons. One is that it's near Mount Nyuto, which the people in Akita thought looks like a nipple because it's the shape. And I always wondered if it has to do with the fact that some of the hot springs are milky white. Probably not. But anyways, the most famous of the Nyuto onsen is Tsuru no Yu, which is incredibly famous. I think probably there's a billion videos on YouTube and everybody's gone there. I haven't made a video myself there, but it's amazing. And it's also very touristy, but it's worth going because it's gorgeous. But Mount Tsuru no Yu, which is, I believe, the oldest, maybe 350 years old, that's not the only one. There's about 6 or so different ones that are all accessible. There's even a little bus you can take that sort of cycles between all of them. And what I want to mention about the Nyuto Hot Springs is that from Kuroyu is another one in that same area, gorgeous, old, rustic, nowhere near as crowded as Tsuru no Yu. That's sort of like a hidden one in that it's yeah, it doesn't get the same tourist traffic. That has rustic places, but if you're into higher end travel and you want to fork out, I'm guessing $150 to $250 a night for the higher end place as opposed to the less than $100 a night. They have some really snazzy rooms. It looks like a traditional building on the outside, but then the inside, it's all cush. And they have a private hot springs bath just for you to use. And so if you're into a not so rustic experience, but a cush one, you can get that at Kuroryu. And from Kuroryu, there is a trailhead up Mount Muto, which has a wild hot spring. And this is another one where it's just like this little bath with some rocks around it out in the middle of the mountains. No rules, no shower, no changing room. You just sort of strip naked and get in with whoever you're with. And it's not crowded. I mean, there'll be no one there probably. Maybe one or two people will walk by, but it's pretty much all to yourself. And oh, it's nice to hear that Hachimantai was visited in the last Visit Japan video. It deserves it. It's fantastic. And then the other thing about Mount Muto I want to mention before I jump onward is that Mount Muto is, if you go up to the summit, which is a really cool shape, and I've done a couple of videos, no, just one, I guess, up there. On the other side, there's this really neat area called Senshogahara, or Plain of 1,000 Ponds, you might call it. That's really neat. And I feature that in some drone footage, though I haven't done an actual video. Okay, let me jump to one place that is underwhelming. I've been all positive and gushy, so let me just change, and I'll give you a taste of one place that I think is meh. And this might surprise some of you, and I'm sorry, I hate being negative, but I'm kind of meh on Mount Fuji. Seriously. I mean, it's gorgeous to look at from afar, but hiking it, yeah. I think pretty much everybody just does it for bragging rights. There are lots of routes. Probably there's some routes I don't know about that are maybe really nice, but generally speaking, just going there, I hiked up it in 2003, and even in 2003, even 17 and a half years ago, it was a parade of people to the top. When I go hiking, it's like, oh, you bump into another person. Oh, hi. But there, it's like you just